Hello everyone. I am Dr. Sawan Giridhar Dharmpuriwar, Associate Professor, Department of English, Vidyasagar Kala Mahavidyalay, Khairi, Vijayawada, Ramteh. William Shakespeare is an ever-shining name in the field of drama and dramatic activity. He is regarded as one of the greatest dramatists of the world. He has written 37 plays. These plays are further divided into 5 categories: Shakespearean tragedy, Shakespearean comedy, Shakespearean tragicomedy, Shakespeare's English historical plays, and Shakespearean Roman plays. In this lecture, we shall discuss and learn about William Shakespeare's English historical plays. मित्रांनो, विलियम शेक्सपियर हे इंग्रजी आणि जागतिक साहित्यातलं एक अजरामर नाव. एक नाटककार, एक कवी म्हणून संपूर्ण जग त्यांना ओळखतं. त्यांनी आपल्या नाट्य कारकिर्दीत 37 अजरामर नाटकांची निर्मिती केली आणि पुढे ती नाटकं 5 कॅटेगरीज मध्ये वर्गीकृत केल्या जातात. त्यात प्रामुख्याने आपण म्हणू शकतोय की ढोबळ मानानं जे वर्गीकरण असतं ते शेक्सपिरियन ट्रॅजेडी, शेक्सपिरियन कॉमेडी, शेक्सपिरियन ट्रॅजिकॉमेडी, शेक्सपियर्स इंग्लिश हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज आणि शेक्सपिरियन रोमन प्लेज या 5 कॅटेगरीज मध्ये विलियम शेक्सपियरची 37 नाटकं ढोबळ मानाने विभाजित केलेली असतात. आणि आज या लेक्चरच्या माध्यमातून आपण विलियम शेक्सपियर यांच्या इंग्लिश हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज म्हणजेच विलियम शेक्सपियर यांनी लिहिलेली ऐतिहासिक नाटकं या विषयावरती चर्चा करणार आहोत. So let us begin with our lecture on the topic Shakespeare's English historical plays. We shall begin this topic with little introduction. When we think about the English historical plays written by William Shakespeare, it all started when Queen Elizabeth became the head of the state. When Queen Elizabeth became the head of the state, there was a wave of patriotism in England. England was prospering in all the ways. People wanted to see the development, progress, and history of their country in the form of the drama. Shakespeare, who was one of the successful dramatists of that time, taking this opportunity, by taking inspiration from this, he started writing historical plays dealing with the life of great kings and history of England. These plays were great success on the stage and very much liked by the Elizabethans. So when we think about how all those historical plays started, how William Shakespeare started writing historical plays, William Shakespeare was one of the very successful dramatists of those days. And it all started when Queen Elizabeth became the head of the state. की ज्यावेळी क्वीन एलिझाबेथला इंग्लंड मधल्या सगळ्या राज्यांचं प्रमुख बनवलं गेलं किंवा ती पॉलिटिकली त्या सगळ्या गोष्टींची प्रमुख झाली, त्यावेळी इंग्लंडमध्ये, संपूर्ण इंग्लंडमध्ये एक प्रकारची देशभक्तीची लहर जी आहे ती लहर निर्माण झाली होती. अँड द पीपल, इंग्लिश पीपल, वेर व्हेरी मच इंटरेस्टेड in knowing about their kings, in knowing about the history of England. And Shakespeare, being the successful dramatist, took this opportunity की तो एक नाटककार होता आणि नाटकांना किंवा सक्सेसफुल नाटक कशी लिहिली जावी, स्टेजवरती ती सादर कशी केली जावी, अधिकाधिक लोकांना ती बघायला कसं प्रेरित केलं जावं, या अनुषंगाने तेव्हा जेव्हा त्याच्याही लक्षात आलं की देशभक्तीपर जी काही नाटकं आहे, इंग्लंडच्या इतिहासावरची जी काही नाटकं आहेत ती जर मी लिहिली तर ते नक्कीच बघायला प्रेक्षक नाट्यगृहाकडे देतील. दॅट्स वाय टेकिंग इन्स्पिरेशन फ्रॉम दिस, William Shakespeare started writing historical plays, and then he wrote plays which were based on the life of the kings of England. की इंग्लंडचे जे काही राजे आहेत, ज्या राजांबद्दल नागरिकांना जाणून घ्यायचं होतं, त्या राजांच्या जीवनावर त्यांनी नाटक लिहायला सुरुवात केली, इंग्लंडच्या इतिहासावर नाटक लिहायला सुरुवात केली. अँड वेन दोज प्लेज, हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज वर प्रेझेंटेड ऑन द स्टेज, people very much liked it and they were a great success. की लोकांनी ती ऐतिहासिक नाटकं डोक्यावर घेतली किंवा ते बघायला ते नाट्यगृहाकडे येऊ लागले आणि त्या नाटकांना अतिशय यश विलियम शेक्सपियरला ऐतिहासिक नाटकाच्या रूपाने मिळालं. Then when we think about these plays, historical plays of William Shakespeare, we can say that apart from some minor portraits, William Shakespeare left us with 6 full-length historical plays. So when he started writing those plays, first of all, he wrote some minor historical characters, but then he wrote or he created 6 full-length historical plays, and these full-length historical plays can be categorized under 2 groups. The first is the historical plays based on the kingly weakness, and second one is the historical plays based on the kingly strength. So in all, I can say that William Shakespeare, apart from some minor historical characters, has created 6 full-length historical plays. He wrote 6 full-length historical plays, and those 6 plays can be further divided into 2 categories. The first category is the historical plays with kingly weakness, and second category is of the historical plays with kingly strength. की आपण विलियम शेक्सपियरने जी काही सगळी ऐतिहासिक नाटकं किंवा ऐतिहासिक गोष्टी लिहायचा प्रयत्न केला, छोटे छोटे पोर्ट्रेट्स त्यांनी आधी काही लिहिले, पण त्याच वेळी त्यांनी 6 संपूर्ण ऐतिहासिक नाटकांची निर्मिती केली. आणि ही जी फुल लेंथ प्लेज आहेत किंवा ही जी काही 6 ऐतिहासिक नाटकं आहे, या ऐतिहासिक नाटकांना पुढे आपण 2 भागांमध्ये विभाजित करू शकतोय. त्यातला पहिला भाग म्हणजे हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज विथ किंगली विकनेस, की अशी ऐतिहासिक नाटकं जी राजांच्या दुर्बलतेवरती लिहिल्या गेली. आणि सेकंड कॅटेगरी वॉज हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज विथ किंगली स्ट्रेंथ, अशी ऐतिहासिक नाटकं जी राजाला सशक्त किंवा राजा शक्तिशाली कसा होता किंवा एक यशस्वी राजा कसा होता या थीमला धरून लिहिल्या गेली किंवा या मध्यवर्ती कल्पनेवरती आधारित होती. दॅट्स व्हाय आय एम सेइंग दॅट 6 historical plays written by William Shakespeare can be categorized as plays with kingly weakness and plays with kingly strength. Our next point of discussion is what actually these 2 categories were and which plays were coming under this category. Okay, so one by one we will try to know about this. The plays like King John, Richard II, Henry VI were categorized under the category of the historical plays with kingly weakness. The play King John shows रॉयल क्रिमिनॅलिटी ऑफ किंग जॉन, की हे जे नाटक आहे किंग जॉन नावाचं, ते किंग जॉन नावाचं नाटक हा राजा कशा प्रकारे शाही गुन्हेगार होता, गुन्हेगारी वृत्तीचा होता आणि त्याच्या गुन्हेगारी वृत्तीने त्यांनी काय केलं या सगळ्या गोष्टींवरती आधारित आहे. द प्ले रिचर्ड II shows the extra sentimental quality of king. And then the play Henry VI shows the saintliness in the character of King Henry VI. So we can say that the play King John, which was based on the royal criminality, the play Richard II, which was based on the, what we can say, sentimental, extra sentimental qualities of King Richard II, and the play Henry VI, which was based on the saintliness in the character of King Henry VI, comes under the category of the kingly weaknesses. King John जो एक प्रकारचा शाही गुन्हेगार होता, रिचर्ड टू राजानी एक्स्ट्रा सेंटिमेंटल अतिसंवेदनशील असायला नको, पण तो अतिशय अतिसंवेदनशील राजा होता, तसंही राजासाठी घातक आहे. त्याचवेळी हेनरी सिक्स जो एखाद्या संताप्रमाणे अतिशय काय म्हणू आपण उत्तम किंवा अतिशय शांत असा व्यक्ती होता. तर ही जी काही राजाची राजा म्हणून दुर्बलता आहे, या घटकांना घेऊन लिहिलेले नाटकं आहेत, ही किंगली विकनेस मध्ये येतात. सो विच वेर द प्लेज विच कम्स अंडर द कॅटेगरी ऑफ किंगली स्ट्रेंथ? द प्लेज लाईक किंग हेनरी IV, Henry V, and Richard III comes under the category of English historical plays with kingly strength. की राजाला एक सशक्त राजा, शक्तिशाली राजा म्हणून प्रदर्शित करणारी जी ऐतिहासिक नाटकं होती, ती होती किंग हेनरी IV, which was based on the fearlessness and the heroism of King Henry IV. At the same time, King Henry V, based on the heroic quality and the administrative skills of Henry V. And then Richard III, the king, initially was a royal criminal, but then he turned his royal criminality into a successful king. कशा प्रकारे की हेनरी IV या नाटकामध्ये राजाचा निर्भयपणा, राजाचं पराक्रम नाटककारांनी दाखवलेलं आहे. हेनरी V नावाच्या नाटकामध्ये त्याचं जे काही शौर्य आहे, राजाचं शौर्य, आणि त्याचवेळी त्याचा उत्तम प्रशासक म्हणून ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह स्किल्स काय होत्या हे त्यांनी त्या नाटकामध्ये दाखवलेलं आहे. आणि रिचर्ड III मध्ये असा एक राजा जो सुरुवातीला गुन्हेगारी प्रवृत्तीचा होता, बट देन ही टर्न्ड हिज रॉयल क्रिमिनॅलिटी इनटू अ सक्सेसफुल किंग बाय हिज ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह स्किल्स. या सगळ्या गोष्टींचं वर्णन करणारी जी काही नाटकं आहे, दीज प्लेज आर कॅटेगराइज अंडर द कॅटेगरी ऑफ द प्लेज, हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज विथ द किंगली स्ट्रेंथ. आय विल वन्स अगेन रिपीट. King John, Richard II, and Henry VI are the plays which comes under the category of kingly weakness, and the plays like Henry IV, Henry V, and Richard III comes under the category of historical plays with the kingly strength. Now, our next point of discussion will be Schlegel's Mirror of King. According to, this Mirror of Kings was a book which was written by critic Schlegel. According to a critic Schlegel, or rather, when this Schlegel, it's not a what we can say book written by Schlegel, but rather when critic Schlegel studies the historical plays of William Shakespeare, this man, famous German critic Schlegel, termed the historical plays of William Shakespeare as the mirror of kings. He calls them as the mirror of kings because he thinks they give the picture of king's life as a ruler in a true sense. And how, what we can say, those plays gives the picture of a king's life in a true sense, because these historical plays written by William Shakespeare shows the king's life as a ruler, as a soldier, as an administrator, as a lover, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, and as an enemy. So we can say that when William Shakespeare portrays those kings into his historical plays, he, what we can say, gives their picture in a true sense, and how he tries to picture the life of that particular king. एक राजा म्हणून फक्त त्याचं तो चित्रण करत नाहीये, एक राजा म्हणून तो फक्त प्रेक्षकांसमोर त्याला मांडायचा प्रयत्न करत नाहीये, but how that king was as a ruler, की तो एक शासक म्हणून कसा होता, how that king was as a soldier, एक सैनिक म्हणून तो रणांगणामध्ये कशा प्रकारे लढायचा, how his administrative qualities were, की एक प्रशासक म्हणून त्याच्यामध्ये काय कौशल्य होती, त्याचप्रमाणे एक सामान्य म्हणून, एक प्रेमी म्हणून तो, एक लवर म्हणून तो कसा होता, ऍज अ फादर हाऊ दॅट किंग वॉज, एक पिता म्हणून त्यांनी कसं आपल्या मुलांचा सांभाळ कसा केला, ऍज अ हजबंड हाऊ दॅट किंग वॉज, की एक नवरा म्हणून तो आपल्या बायकोशी कसा वागला, ऍट द सेम टाइम हाऊ दॅट किंग वॉज ऍज अ फ्रेंड अँड ऍज एन एनिमी, की मित्र आणि शत्रू म्हणून तो राजा कसा होता. इन ऑल आय कॅन से दॅट he tries to portray that king in all the possible ways, as a soldier, as a ruler, as an administrator, as a lover, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, and as an enemy. So at the same time, he not only wrote about the virtues of the kings, but at the same time William Shakespeare tries to take an account of virtues and vices of the kings, की त्या राजामध्ये जे सद्गुण होते, त्या राजामध्ये ते दुर्गुण होते, जे दुर्गुण होते या दोन्ही गोष्टींचं अगदी काय म्हणू आपण त्यांनी समर्पक वर्णन करायचं काम किंवा चित्रण करायचं काम त्याच्या नाटकामध्ये केलं. And that's why Schlegel's critic, when he writes about the historical plays of William Shakespeare, he calls them as the mirror of king, की एक आरसा ज्याप्रमाणे माणसाचं प्रतिबिंब जसं आहे तसं दाखवतं, इन द सेम वे त्या राजाचं खरं प्रतिबिंब एक माणूस म्हणून या नाटकांनी दाखवायचा प्रयत्न केला, असं जी काही टिप्पणी आहे ती श्लेगल नावाच्या समीक्षकांनी केलेली आपल्याला दिसत आहे. सो वी विल मूव्ह ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट सब टॉपिक ऑफ अवर डिस्कशन, अँड दॅट इज हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज plot. While drawing out the plot for the historical plays, William Shakespeare remains honest with the central historical story and the chronology. Every drama needs a plot, every drama needs a story, and whenever William Shakespeare draws his plot of the historical plays, at that time he remains very honest with the historical story and the क्रोनॉलॉजी, की जेव्हा जेव्हा विलियम शेक्सपियरनी आपल्या ऐतिहासिक नाटकासाठी कथा निवडलेली आहे, विषय वस्तू निवडलेली आहे, संहिता निवडलेली आहे, at that time while choosing the plot of the story, the first and foremost thing that Shakespeare has done is he remained honest with the chronology and the history of England, की तो इंग्लंडच्या इतिहासासोबत, म्हणजे जेव्हा त्यांनी त्याच्या ऐतिहासिक नाटकाची कथा निवडली आहे, विलियम शेक्सपियर हा इंग्लंडच्या इतिहासासोबत अतिशय प्रामाणिक राहिलेला आहे, आणि त्याचप्रमाणे क्रोनॉलॉजी कालगणना शास्त्र जे आहे त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी कुठलाही बदल केलेला नाही. ऐतिहासिक तारखांमध्ये, इतिहासामध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारचा बदल विलियम शेक्सपियरनी आपल्या नाटकाची संहिता किंवा कथा लिहिताना केलेला निदर्शनास येत नाही. But at the same time, he was writing the drama, he was writing for the stage, and he has to make his play very interesting, and that's why he sometimes make frequent changes from the dramatic point of view. When he was developing that historical plot, he has made some changes. He sometimes adds some subplot to develop the historical story from the dramatic point of view. He wants to write a drama. He wants to attract the audience to the theater. They should watch the drama on the stage, and that's why to make the story, make the historical story more and more interesting, he has made some changes into the story according to the need of the drama. At the same time, he tries to mention all historical facts. Whatever historical facts were there, those historical facts were very well presented by William Shakespeare on the stage. की इतिहासाशी कुठलाही छेडछाड न करता, कालगणना शास्त्राशी कुठल्याही प्रकारची छेडछाड न करता, तारखांमध्ये कुठलाही बदल न करता, त्यांनी छोटे छोटे बदल करून नाटकाची संहिता, ऐतिहासिक नाटकाची कथा नाटकाच्या अनुषंगाने डेव्हलप करायचा प्रामाणिक प्रयत्न केलेला आपल्याला हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज मध्ये दिसतो आहे. Then our next point of discussion is historical plays characterization. When we thought about the plot, then we have to think now. We have to think about the characterization. की पात्र रचना त्याच्या ऐतिहासिक नाटकामध्ये कशा प्रकारची होती. William Shakespeare gathers information about his historical characters from the stories and tells. He studies them very closely. He takes an account of the difficulties and luxuries faced by the kings. He makes some minor character major, some major character minor, according to the dramatic need of the characterizations. At the same time, he also adds some characters according to his own sweet will. When we think about the art of characterization in the historical plays of William Shakespeare, we can say that William Shakespeare gathers information about his characters from the stories and tells in the history. तो काय करतोय की ज्यावेळी त्याला पात्र रचना करायची आहे, पात्रांची निर्मिती करायची आहे, एवढं 100% खरं आहे की इतिहासामध्ये जी पात्र आहे त्याच पात्रांना घेऊन किंवा त्या जिवंत पात्रांवरती तो नाटक लिहितोय. त्याच्यामुळे त्या ओरिजिनल पात्रांशी तो छेडछाड करत नाही. त्यांच्याबद्दलची जी काही माहिती आहे त्या जुन्या प्राचीन कथांमधून तो प्राप्त करतोय. बट ऍट द सेम टाइम त्या पात्रांची निर्मिती करताना, ती पात्र डेव्हलप करताना विलियम शेक्सपियर काय करतोय, समटाइम्स ही मेक सम मायनर कॅरेक्टर्स मेजर अकॉर्डिंग टू द नीड ऑफ द स्टोरी, की कथेच्या किंवा नाट्यकथेच्या गरजेनुसार काही छोट्या पात्रांना मोठं करायचं काम आणि कधी कधी काही महत्वाच्या पात्रांना फार कमी महत्व नाटकांमध्ये तो देताना दिसतोय. ऍट द सेम टाइम ही ऍड्स कॅरेक्टर्स ऑफ हिज ओन इमॅजिनेशन in order to develop that story in a what we can say dramatic way, in a proper way. But rather at the same time he tries, though he has what we can say made his own characters sometimes or created his own characters sometimes with his imagination, but at the same time with major characters he always remains very honest with the history and he tries to picture that king in a true sense from his historical plays. Now we will discuss about the language and style of the English historical plays written by William Shakespeare. When we think about the language and style of English historical plays, we must admit that language and style which is used by William Shakespeare in English historical plays do not touch the height of the language and style which William Shakespeare uses in the कॉमेडीज अँड ट्रॅजेडीज, की ज्यावेळी आपण भाषा शैली किंवा भाषा आणि शैलीविषयी विचार करतोय विलियम शेक्सपियरच्या ऐतिहासिक नाटकांच्या, आपल्याला हे कबूल करावं लागतंय की ज्या भाषेची उंची, भाषा शैलीची उंची विलियम शेक्सपियरनी त्याच्या ट्रॅजेडीज आणि कॉमेडीज लिहिताना गाठलेली आहे, तशा प्रकारची काय म्हणू आपण भाषा शैली विलियम शेक्सपियर ऐतिहासिक नाटकांमध्ये वापरू शकलेला नाही. बट स्टील, and we say that long language is improper, that style is not proper for the drama, we cannot say so, because whatever the language and style William Shakespeare has used for writing the English historical plays, that is suitable to present the mighty history in proper way, की जी काही भाषा शैली त्यांनी त्याच्या ऐतिहासिक नाटकांमध्ये वापरलेली आहे ती भाषा शैली त्या ऐतिहासिक नाटकांसाठी अतिशय सुटेबल आहे, अतिशय योग्य आहे, अतिशय समर्पक आहे. आणि they, what we can say, that language tried to present the life of those mighty kings, the history of England in very proper way from the language which has been used by Shakespeare in the English historical plays. While concluding, we can say that, or we can compare, we will try to compare the English historical plays written by William Shakespeare with the tragedies of William Shakespeare. Historical plays of Shakespeare are different from that of the tragedies written by him. In tragedies of Shakespeare, defeat or flaw in the character brings total destruction of the hero. So what happens when we try to think about, to compare about the tragedies and the historical plays of William Shakespeare, we have to think about that tragedies were written on the imaginary characters and historical plays were written on the, what we can say, original kings of the England. That's why I'm saying that in the tragedies of the William Shakespeare, the defeat or flaw in the character brings the destruction of the hero. की ट्रॅजेडीज मध्ये आपण असं बघतोय की शेक्सपियरचा जो काही हिरो आहे त्या हिरोचं जे पतन आहे, शेवट आहे, एंड आहे, ते त्याच्याच एखाद्या चुकीमुळे घडून येताना आपल्याला दिसत आहे. बट this is not the case with the English historical plays of William Shakespeare. The mistake done by the hero brings the downfall of the hero in the Shakespearean tragedy, but in historical plays, which are giving the account of the real life lived by the real kings of England, this cannot be happen. Why? Because in real life, one might have one more chance to learn from his mistakes. Thus, the historical plays of Shakespeare are the gallery of the portraits of the kings of England in a true sense. So what happens? की ट्रॅजेडीज मध्ये आपण असं बघतोय की त्या हिरोनी एखादी मिस्टेक केली असते किंवा त्याच्या कॅरेक्टरमध्ये एखादं वैगुण्य असतं आणि ते वैगुण्य त्याला त्याच्या शेवटापर्यंत घेऊन जात आहे. इथे हिस्टॉरिकल प्लेज मध्ये जी नाटकं आधारित आहेत ती रिअल कॅरेक्टर्स वरती, रिअल किंग्स वरती आहे, जे जीवन लोकांनी अनुभवलं आहे, बघितलेलं आहे, कुठेतरी कथांमधून वाचलेलं आहे. आणि रिअल लाईफ मध्ये जरी एखाद्या व्यक्तीने एखाद्या वेळी एखादी चूक केली तर जीवन आपल्याला पुन्हा एकदा ते चूक सुधारायची संधी देत असते आहे. अँड अकॉर्डिंगली की when that mistake has been checked and that has been cured by that particular character, his life can be changed, and that's why he can also become successful in life. And that's why we are saying that historical plays are the account of the real life, की खऱ्या जीवनाचं चित्र नसतं आणि खरं जीवन नेहमी माणसाला एखाद दुसरी संधी प्रदान करत असते चूक सुधारायची. आणि तशा प्रकारच्या गोष्टी, तशा प्रकारची कथा आपल्याला ऐतिहासिक नाटकामध्ये वाचायला मिळते, जी आपल्याला शेक्सपियरच्या शोकांतिकेमध्ये, ट्रॅजेडीज मध्ये बघायला मिळत नाही. अँड दॅट्स वाय आय एम सेइंग दॅट historical plays which are written by William Shakespeare are the wonderful gathering of the portraits of English kings, and they picture the history of England in true sense. So with this, so this is all about the English historical plays of William Shakespeare. Before I end my discussion on this topic, we will just take a look of the subtopics that we have learned under this particular subject. So we have learned this topic under the subtopics like introduction. In introduction, we have seen that it all started when Queen Elizabeth became the head of the state in England, and there was wave of patriotism in England, and the people of England wanted to see the history of their nation, history of their kings on the stage. Then we have seen that William Shakespeare, besides some minor historical portraits, wrote six full-length historical plays, and those historical plays can be divided further into two categories: plays with kingly weakness and plays with kingly strength. Three plays are categorized under the plays with historical plays with kingly weakness, and those were King John, Richard II, and Henry VI. Another three plays, historical plays, were categorized under the category of plays with historical plays with kingly strength, and those were Henry IV, Henry V, and Richard III. Next, we have seen that how the critic Schlegel calls the English historical plays of William Shakespeare as the mirror of kings, because they give the picture of a king in a true sense. They completely pictures that particular king as a ruler, as an administrator, as a lover, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, and as an enemy. Then we have seen about the plot of the historical plays, and that plot was honest with the history of England and the chronology. Then when we think about the art of characterization, William Shakespeare has taken the characters from the history of England. He gathers information about those characters from the stories and tells at the same time, according to the need of the drama, he has also created some characters of his own imagination, and he has made some minor character major according to the dramatic need of the plot. Then when we think about the language and style in William Shakespeare's historical plays, the language and style which he has used in historical plays do not touch the height of the language and style which he has used in the tragedies and comedies. की त्याच्यामधली जी काही भाषा आहे, जरी ती ट्रॅजेडी आणि कॉमेडी इतकी उंची गाठत नसली, but still that language is suitable to present the mighty history and the mighty life of the kings of England. Then, while concluding the topic, we have seen that William Shakespeare's historical plays are different from the tragedies, because tragedies are written on the imaginary characters, and the downfall or the destruction of the hero in tragedies is brought because of the mistake, because of the flaw in the character of that particular hero. But in historical plays, there were the real characters, lifelike characters, the kings of England, and life gives another chance. And from that point of view, those kings were portrayed by William Shakespeare in his historical plays. And that's why we have said that historical plays which were written by William Shakespeare are the wonderful gallery of portraits of the English kings. So, dear friends, with this, I have come to an end of my discussion on the topic William Shakespeare's English historical plays. I hope you might have understood it and you might have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you, all of you.